सहनाववतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ योगेन चित्तस्य पदेन वाचां मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन योपाकरोत्तं प्रवरं मुनीनां पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्री सद्गुरु महाराज की जय। Savichara and Savitarka and Nirvitarka. Savitarka with the object, word and meaning and idea. Shabda Artha Jnana Vikalpa. After Savitarka, it moves into Nirvitarka, the same gross object without name and idea. Name and idea, the name and the knowledge of the object is connected to memory. So when memory is not there, it works. So morning we discussed about the transformation of Savitarka and Nirvitarka. So now Savitarka and Nirvitarka, they both make their own impressions, reflections in samskara. So the impressions are made as samskaras. Then the Savitarka, when ends to Nirvitarka, and then Nirvitarka is again moving towards Savichara and Nirvichara. So here the only object is seen, nothing else. Only form, only the meaning of the word. So the form is not changing its character, but the form, the same object, can be changed into the subtle element, the cause of the object. So the same object's elements as the cause Now we are meditating on that. So that cause meditation is called Savichara and Nirvichara in next sutra. Etayeva Savichara Nirvichara cha Sukshma Vishaya Vyakhyata. Etayeva, by this, what is already has been told, by this, by Savitarka and Nirvitarka, the Savichara and Nirvichara Sukshma Vishaya Vyakhyataha. Both the Savichara and Nirvichara. The object is subtle there. The gross object changed to subtle form. The Sukshma Vishaya Vyakhyata. It is very clear. The object was in gross form. It was a modification of gross elements. The cause of that element is called subtle elements. Now you just remember the morning section where we discussed the object with all other connected things to the object. That's the time and space, emotion, like that. So now it is here, the same thing comes with the subtle form of the object. In your drawing, Savichara is mentioned, merging on with the subtle elements of the same object. When we say subtle elements, the combination, the contents of the element, of the object. This in the cloth, what is the subtle element of that? Threads. And then it can move cotton and then to atoms like that, one by one. And then comes, from there it changes to the form of smell and like that. Smell is also tanmatra. So it can change into smell form because it is connected to earth. The subtle form of earth is smell. So it can change to smell. That is called tanmatra. So now when we take the object, now the form of object is not there. Only the subtle form. Subtle form of the same object. To practice this, you can take this example of cloth, seeing a part of cloth, one by one reducing it into the subtlest form, smallest form, then going to the element form of that. Element states. Elements are the ingredients of the gross subject, but gross object, whatever is made. So here mainly vichara means subtle. Savichara, it means with subtle form. And that's in first Savichara, we have the same Shabda Artha Jnana. The word and the meaning and the idea. Three are there. The sensation of sound. Now how can you sense the word? Now the sensation of sound. It changed into the sensation of sound. You remember the sound as the flower or the cloth. This is the word we say. When you change the word into sound, this is, you feel the sound without a definite meter or definite syllable. It's a sound. Because all syllables are based on a basic sound. The basic sound produces all other sounds. That is called the sound element. How it is you, when you pronounce words, you can see like A, B, C and all this are the pronunciation. And before that, it comes the basic sound. While the children, they start to speak, they are making the basic sounds. Then after that, they correctly pronounce. So this is the basic sound. It is also having some rhythm, but mainly here it is vibrations. Vibrations of the sound. That is why we write the sensation of the element. To understand this, you must know the physical development of creation, how it comes. From Prakriti, the ultimate material cause, then the creation of Buddhi, Mahatattva, the cosmic intelligent, and then comes the cosmic I-ness, Ahankara. Then from Ahankara, these 5 objects, Shabda, and the sound, and smell, touch, and taste. These elements comes. So this is called Tanmatras. These are the Tanmatras. This is the subtle form of gross element. From these 5 Tanmatras, the gross elements come as earth, water, and then fire, air, and ether. These are elements, gross elements. The objects what we see is made out of these gross elements. We will discuss this creation purpose later, because in next chapter Maharaj is going to give the sutras. 3-4 sutras will come regarding this. But here, just to understand what are the gross elements. These are the gross elements of the same object. Now you concentrated on flower. The flower has a form. Now that form is changed into elements. When you this is only by understanding you can change. Mentally you can change. Physically it is not happening, and all meditation is happening in the mind. So you are changing it into mind only. How it is changed? You are seeing the object's form, that flower. Now slowly you are concentrating one point in that form. You are reducing the size of the flower. And again, mind is not still there. It is changing into the form of these sensational forms. It has become a feeling. There is no object. Only the feeling remains there. So this is nirvichara. This you can understand only when you meditate on gross object and attain stability in that. By theory, this is the theory. This is the cloth is the example. So you remember the cloth and then try to understand what is happening there. You are not changing the object, but you are changing the idea of object. It means the cognition of object, the knowledge of object. It can be known as cloth, it can be known as cotton, it can be known as threads. This object is the same, but you are changing the vision, your view is changed. Then the object changes. When you see threads here, there is absence of cloth. You are only concentrating on threads. When you see cotton here, again it is subtler. There is no existence of threads. So this way, the same object can be changed by idea, by changing the cognition. This is what is happening here. You are concentrating on an object and now you are changing its form with the knowledge of that object, which was already practiced before. You know well about this. So then you can change it. Reaching there is no studies possible. There is no memory you can recollect. This process are not there. So in this level, if the Shabda Artha Jnana, the same thing connected to the element is there, then it is called Savichara. It is subtler than Savitarka, Nirvitarka. Savitarka, Nirvitarka, then Savichara. And after that you forget the name and the idea, only the element, what is grasped is there. So condensed elements of the object, that is the element here, condensed elements, the contents of that element, what is what was your object. So there the memory of sound goes away, the memory of object is also not remembered. First, even in that subtle state, the was there. This is sound, this is a sound related to this object, this connection was there. Now that is also gone. Here, when we say tanmatras, subtle elements, that is sound and all other touch, taste and smell and form, the five. So these five are called tanmatras. It is there in your mind. This is not connected to outside objects. How? When you smell something, you smell the good smell of flower. Is the flower is going inside your mind? No. Flower is outside. Flower is still outside. Then what is going inside? The smell. Is the smell is different from flower? No? No. So if it's different from flower, if it's not different from flower, it means if the flower of a particular, the smell of a particular flower goes inside your mind, the flower is also there. No, it is not like that. Flower is outside only. Flower cannot enter into the brain. How can a flower enter into the nose and go to the brain? It is not possible. It is something else. And the smell, now the problem is you are not smelling something general. You are smelling a particular special smell. So that particular smell is connected to a particular flower is okay, it is correct. But the flower is not going inside, no part of flower is going inside, nothing is happening, but you are having the smell. How it is possible? In all experiments, they proved it. Flower is not going inside, even a particle of flower is not going inside. Everything is up to here only. Here here is the sensation of smell in this, inside this nose. There are small particle cells, smell cells. So they censor the smell, then it goes. Now you see here the turning point of gross elements and subtle elements. When it touches, the air brings the small particles of smell, then it touches here. This is sense organ here, smell sense organ. As soon as it touches, the air touches, it goes inside. The smell is received. That sense is received. After that, there is no connection with outside object. After that, there is no connection with the air which brought the smell into this. Only the touch, the sensation of the touch of the air, it sensed as smell and it goes. That you recognize as smell. It means after this sensation, what you are receiving is, it has no connection with the outside object at all. It is something totally different. What it is a sensation. It is a knowledge. It is a sensational knowledge. That's all. And now knowledge means what? Knowledge means it is received by mind. What is happening in your mind? Thoughts. Now you have a thought about a particular smell. So that is called subtle element. Now you see, this is not a subject of neuroscience. They say something else. They say, whatever I said, the basic things are there. They say the sensation is there. Now the information goes to the brain. Brain says this smell is this. The connecting with the memory, that is decided this is this smell. But they are not connecting it with the elements part of the object. But Sankhya Yoga, they are connecting it, the elements part of the object. Because that particular object produced this smell. Actually, by the theory of creation, it is just opposite of this. Vice versa. Just opposite. The smell created that object, not the object created the smell. Because the subtle form is the cause and gross form is the product. Everywhere it is like that. So the object cannot perceive the sensational organ. Why? Because sensational organ is subtler than object. Although both are insentient. Insentient means jada, achaitanya. But object cannot know the sensational organ of it. But it has some connection. And this sensational organ is comparatively in gross level when you compare to mind. So the sensational organs cannot perceive mind. And mind is not the perceiver of intellect. And intellect is not the perceiver of Atma. In intellect, Atma is reflected. It cannot perceive. This is one theory. It says the gross elements cannot perceive subtle elements. That is why we say objects are outside and the sensational organs are not perceived by mind. These indriyas, we say indriyas, sense organs. They are atindriyas. They cannot be perceived. Only mind can know that. And whatever happens in the sense organs, the information goes to the mind. Now the smell, where it is really smell is happening is in the mind. Because if mind is not there, you are not perceiving the smell. In this way, they say you have the capacity to distinguish and separately understand 50,000 different type of smells. That is the experiment they did. 50,000. 50. Thousands of smell you can differ and understand. This much capacity our brain has. But normally we are only understanding some 1,000 smells. Maybe less than that. And dogs, special dogs, they have the capacity even more. Maybe 5 times, 10 times more than us. They can differ even more smells. So here the subject is, now we are meditating on the subtle elements, then what it means? It is not the object at all. Now object changed into subtle form. See, this is only an example I gave how the process is going on. This is a physical phenomena. There is nothing to make it something, you put an idea or it's just physiology. So when you make this cloth into subtle element, what will happen? It will reduce its form. The form is disappearing. Form is disappeared, then the original form comes. That is the material cause of that. If you make it atoms, if atoms are received by eyes, no. Atoms cannot be seen by eyes. You say it is there. And you cannot make it. Physically you cannot make it. They say atoms are the cause of the elements in that levels. Water is made of H2O. Now you believe that hydrogen and oxygen together made the water. But that is not received in your mind. You don't know what is hydrogen is, what is oxygen is. Only you know the name. Now how can you concentrate on that? Because when you try to concentrate on water, it is possible. That is savitarka. But you want to change the water into hydrogen and oxygen and then concentrate. Then you will not get the water there, only gases. And gases are formless. Are you understanding this? This is the technique. The same technique they are using here. Now only you can believe. You know that this is the element. But the seeing or receiving is not there. This is savichara. And nirvichara, the same thing without the word and the knowledge. The same thing continues here. So, etaya savichara nirvichara cha sukshma vishaya vyakhyata. He mentions that this is sukshma vishaya, this subtle form. And now the problem is, if you are not having an object for meditation, it is like the object is almost disappeared. Then what is the meditation there? How can we say it is meditation? There you have to go again to that creation process to understand. There it says, here it is reflected. Reflected in the sense, the intellect receives the knowledge. The already gained knowledge is there. The reflective knowledge is there. Like I gave the example of water. You know water is made of hydrogen and oxygen. What it is, now you don't know hydrogen and oxygen, you never saw what is hydrogen and oxygen, and you never saw how the combination happens. Nothing, you have no idea. But you believe that water is each molecule of water has two elements, hydrogen and oxygen. In this you believe that. So this believing itself is our understanding. We have no doubt. We are not doubting on it. And how it is possible without knowing, without seeing, without having the experience, how you are believing it? The same way here also, the previous understanding of creation, you know, this grosser elements, grosser objects are made of subtler objects. And that is how we experience. The experience is like we experience the smell, like we experience the form and sound. Everything is like that. Nothing is going inside. Only the sensational thoughts are going. The signals are going inside. Then brain says this is that. So everything is fed there. We are smelling so many smells we have. Not only flowers or another smells. But many of the smells we cannot recognize. The information is not fed in our mind. But dogs can do that. They can smell each person's cloth. You know that sniffer dogs are there. They can remember it clearly. So this we cannot do it because we don't have so much capacity. Our brain is not made for that. Even though we are also smelling that, the recognition is not there. It means what is registered in our mind is known by us. What we already experienced or already what we believe is not there. So we believe that H2O is the element of water. That is our belief, or because of our education we believe in that. So the same information is there. If somebody asks what is there in that water molecule, we say H2O. So this is what is happening. We feel we feel as it is real, but it is not real. This is the last type, the variety of the meditation. Now some of the commentators, even one of famous Sanskrit commentator, he is saying that here you have to add similarly Sananda, Nirananda, Sasmida, Nirasmida also. Because out of 4, Vitarka, Vichara, Ananda, Asmida, there were 4 Samprajnadas. Out of 4 we took 2, only 2. Vitarka becomes Savitarka and Nirvitarka. Vichara becomes Savichara and Nirvichara. So his argument is, then why not 2 more? Sananda and Nirananda and Sasmida and Nirasmita. Then he gives a definition also. He says, in Sananda, the sensational feeling will be there. Because Sananda, you know, the process of knowing, receiving. We have word here still. The receiving with the medium in between. The instrumental level. That receiving means the sensational connection. So only the sensational feelings are there. The sensational feeling you are trying to feel that. You are meditating only on that. The sensational feeling. Like the sensation of smell here, sensation of sound here, sensation of light here, sensation of touch, sensation of taste. So this is called Ananda, Sananda. And when you leave the emotion there, that is called Nirananda. The feeling of sensation without emotion. What is that emotion? Good, bad. It is good for me, it is not good. So this feeling is there. So you leave that, then it is called Nirananda. Then Sasmida is concentrating on I amness. That I am the feeler. I am the receiver. I am meditating. That I am is there. I-ness is called ego or ahankara. That is Sasmita. And Nirasmita means it transcends the I amness. The I is not there, only isness is there. You feel only the presence, not even I there, like in the deep sleep. Deep sleep, you feel the presence, then you come out of that. Or when you get up in the morning, the first moment of your waking, first comes the presence, existence. First you feel the existence. Then you remember your name. Then you remember your form. Then you remember everything, one by one, slowly. So if you can catch that first moment of feeling, that is called Nirasmita. Without ego. There is no I-ness. In Sasmida, there is I-ness. Nirasmita, there is no I-ness. Only the presence is felt. So it is more deeper than Savichara and Nirvichara. That is what that commentator wants to say. Or some of the modern commentators also, they follow themselves there. but it is wrong with Sutra and Bhashya. According to the Sutra, it is not correct. And according to the Bhashya also, it is wrong. We cannot take two more. Why? You see, here the Patanjali specially mentioning Etaya Savichara Nirvichara Sushma Vishaya Vyakhyata. He is not including those two there. If you want to include those two also, you need another sutram for that. Because here he is specifically concluding with Nirvichara. So Savichara, Nirvichara is already said. The same manner you have to understand them. So he is not mentioning. It means he is only seeing up to here. And there is a solid reason for that, why it is so. And then the commentator Vyasadeva, the Bhashya and Vyasa Bhashya, he says, Sachadurdha upasankhyaataha. In next sutra's Bhashya, it is there. Only the Samapatis are four varieties. So we have four varieties: Savitarka, Nirvitarka, Savichara, Nirvichara. He is not including Sananda, Nirananda, Sasmida, Nirasmida. It is wrong according to the Bhashya and when you see the sutras. If that is the case, you could say all others can be included in this way. You could say that. He is not saying. Because it is not possible. That meditation is not meant here. Technically, scholarly, you can find out. You can say, if it is Savitarka and Nirvitarka, why not Sananda and Nirananda? So you can make it. But practically it is not possible. Because he is seeing the practical side of that. He is not just making the test scholarly and just technically correct. And he is not saying why I left this. If somebody is practicing, he will understand why it is not there. So the reason is, this Ananda and Asmita, without an object, the Ananda and Asmita cannot be made a separate identity. Because that is the difference between Samprajñāta Samadhi and Samapatti. Samapatti has a process. What is the process? Process includes the instrumental case there. Here you see this, the Samapatti, the object and the subject and then the meaning. Three are there. Okay. This is one process, one thought. One thought is divided into three. It means you can concentrate on this part, that part, and the last part. It is in one thought only. You cannot make a separate thought here. Because if it is separate thought, again three will arise. It is not possible. Technically, it is not possible. That is why he is not including the instrumental, the Ananda and Asmita. In single thought, it is possible. Because already the object is there. Object is objectified by the subject. So subject can be received. And the receiving process is there because of this object. If you remove the subject and meaning, then you cannot bring the separate meditation there. So Ananda, only the instrument cannot be meditated upon. This is the technical problem. And if you see, this also is like that. The Shabda, Artha and Jnana. So we are separating Shabda, memory, and the memory of jnana. Only the artha is there, concentrated on that. It means it is naturally happening. There is no process, instrumental process. We are not forcefully doing that. And then there is the repetition of this, and then it comes to the subtle form. Then more than subtle form, nothing can be included. So the next sutra he is going to say, the subtle sushma vishayatvam ja alinga paryavasanam. The sushma vishayatvam, when we say subtle form, this I-ness is not a subtle form. And the ananda is also not a subtle element. It is only instrumental, the connection. You understand that what I am saying? We have the object. Object is produced. It is a creation. Object has gross form, subtle form. But the subject has no gross form, no subtle form, no changes. That is why it is not possible. And subject is identified in correlation with object only, in the presence of object only. Otherwise, separately subject cannot be identified. And if the object is not there, subject is there, then how can you take the instrument? An instrument need again the samabhati there, again it brings 3. So it's all confusing. It is not happening. Technically it is not happening. And this is not the in the steps of creation. The steps of creation, only from subtle the gross is formed. So you can go back from gross to subtle. From not to the I-ness or the instrumental. That is why samabhati is not happening. But samprajnada is there. That is a different. Samprajnada without samabhati is happening with ananda and asmita, because only the feeling is there. There is no separate identification. Tastha tatanjanada is not there. There is no needed. If you want to say, you can say, but practically there is no need for that. Because subject is always subject. It is not carried away. There is no change in that. That is why it is not meant, this samadhi. This is the reason why it is not included to others. Now, from here, we get impressions of this practice. That is important thing. You remember that whenever we do, whatever we do, it gets some impressions. If we let go of the mind, that we just lose the mind, then that is also an impression. Then you hold the mind, that is also an impression. The good thoughts makes impression. Bad thoughts make impressions. So the impressions are there. Now how these impressions are made, memory is made. Once I just mentioned this, there are factors connected to emotion. If the event is connected with emotion, then that is going to directly to memory. Then what are others? The need of the body. It means for the existence of the body or for the existence of yourself totally. If something is needed, something is essential, unavoidable, then it goes to the memory, because subconscious mind take care of that. And then if something is related to your life protection, if that much serious it is, then that is also in your memory. It goes to subconscious mind. And then something is related to your growth of the body and mind. It means it is related to existence only. So these are, when these are together, the impressions are made stronger. And clear impressions are there. Then those impressions give the result also immediately, whenever it is needed. Now we practiced Samadhi, Savitarka. We practiced means we are learning to practice. When you practice, you will get the impression. Now we are getting information with great difficulty how to practice it. The form of the Samadhis. Now when you practice Savitarka, according to the theory, the Savitarka samskaras are made. And not only that, when Savitarka samskaras are made with all these elements, emotion, assistance, growth, protection, and all those things, if those are there with this practice, then the samskaras are made stronger. Otherwise, just a reflection, next day it will go. Like you can feel in your life. You just analyze your life. The problem is we are not having enough time to analyze our life in our lifetime. We are always busy with actions. If we will analyze our life, whenever we get, not only here, I am not talking about the present situation, wherever you are, whenever you get free time, when you are traveling, just sitting in the train or plane or in the airport, just you can think what is happening in my life. So then you will understand that you are remembering such incidents clearly, which are connected to your emotion, your assistance, your protection, your growth, your devotion, love. The emotions are connected to this. So you remember those things, not others. Others are just forgotten, it's disappeared. The same way, if you need impressions, you need some background force for practicing Samadhi. There is no other option but to make this impression stronger. This is how the sadhana develops. Without that, it is not possible, it is not happening. Even in normal sadhana, it is not possible. If you want to do arati daily, for 1 month, that is for 1 month. Somehow we adjust. But for all life, or 1 year or 2 years, daily in a particular time, you want to do arati. You try it. It's very difficult. After sometimes, there is, sometimes, okay, it is what is going to, Brahma is everywhere, and is doing also is good, and not doing also is good. So there will be some, gaps. So you will find way to avoid it. Why it is so? Please think about that. That is because that is the reason we are not able to do any spiritual practice continuously. People say that is the nature of mind. No, it is not the nature of mind. Because daily you are eating for a 15 years, 50 years, 60 years. The whole life you are eating. I told you, na, 30 tons of food you are eating in the whole life. You are not, bored about eating. Even today, you are interested in new food making and eating. But regarding other sadhanas, it is not possible. Sleeping, whenever you are ready to sleep, you are not bored about sleep. So you compare with this, how it is happening there and why it is not happening here. There it is already fixed. It is essential. It is connected to your existence. If that is not there, it is not possible. It is completely received and accepted. It is there in your subconscious mind. You cannot change. If you if you think about changing it, you are worried about that. Just opposite of that. But in this case, okay, one day it's happening, it's okay. The next day is not happening, that is also okay. Why? Because you are not worried about that. You are not connecting these things with your life existence. This is the core reason, actually real reason for these problems, not having the sadhanas. Now I am taking this point to take to the impressions, how the impressions are made. Now once these Savitarka impressions are made, it is going to change your mind, going to change your body, going to change your attitudes, going to change your chemical combination in the body. It is going to change the cells and molecules, everything in the body, even DNA. How? If it is added with this, then body cannot resist but to accept. If your practice is added with emotions and this assistance, and you think that without this my life is gone, without this is I cannot live. If this point, this thinking is added to this, then the impressions are made, then everything changes. This is the physiology of this sort of practice. This is what Patanjali is mentioning here. Now you see, you are experiencing the sleep. I am taking the example because when you understand physiologically, it is in your mind, it is thorough. If I talk intellectually, it is not stable. That I also know. Because we are all studied something like this. Sitting in a place and doing, studying and remembering. We did like that. And you are on correct time, you are going to sleep and you get good sleep and you enjoy, come back. Now you just freely think about that, how it is happening. Who told you to go to sleep? Why you are in sleep? Why you wake up after certain span of time? You know how? Don't know. We wake up to eat. You wake up to eat? No. I say you wake up to practice yoga because you have to attend the 5 o'clock meditation. No, not that is the reason. It is very interesting. This is the physiology of meditation also. Because sleep is so much connected to this all process. Not only sleep, I am taking sleep because it is easy to understand. You can take any of the actions and reactions or the functions of body. There is not only sleep. You see, the physiology of sleep is, first point, it is registered in subconscious mind. Okay? Second point, why it is registered so? The subconscious mind has the information when the body is tired, when the brain is tired, give the suggestion of sleep. This is second point. So when the body is tired and brain is tired, or you are tired, then subconscious mind gives the suggestion, you go to rest. It is happening from there. So you feel like laying down, feel lazy and laying down on the bed. And this is suggestion coming from subconscious mind. And the third point, why this suggestion is registered there? It is a need. It is essential need of the physical body and mind. If that is not happening, the body will explode. The brain will stop functioning. And all chemical reactions happens in the body. It is tested thing. If you are regularly sleeping on particular time, if you change the time, the chemical changes are different in the body. Exactly when you go to bed, it is registered in body clock. Accordingly, body releases some drugs. It is called sleep drugs. It is not that we are using for sleeping. It is body is producing some chemicals. It works like drugs. And it spread over the body. Mainly it is connected to brain. Then brain is ready for sleep and drowsiness starts, and you can see your hands and legs are losing their strength. Now just losing. So because of that drugs. Melatonin. Yes, correct. So now you see the connection. The mind, the subconscious mind is giving the suggestion for the body to rest, and the body is producing the elements for the sleep. That is some chemical changes in the body, and now brain and body is resting. You are completely out of body. Your mission is off now, switched off. Everything is happening automatically. Now the reason is again the same. It needs to rest. Without rest, the maintenance of the body is impossible, and body will spoil its strength, and existence is questioned. So it happens. It is very interesting to know how it is formed. Now you can ask a question. Who gave suggestion to this subconscious mind to do all these things? This is the physiology, they say, how it is happening. So we have a information there. We have a related information there. Who is giving this? Why it is given? We can say this is the reason because of to protect the body. That is the reason. But how the mind knows this it's for protection I have to do this. How minds know? And this is one thing. If you take another system of the body's defense system, that is something again wonderful. That is why I said any of the function you can take. So body's defense system also works like this. The sleep is also little bit connected to defense system of the body. Now, subconscious mind, how it gets this information? Because subconscious mind we call it is a habitual mind, or which is with all previous informations related to the maintenance of body. That is there. It means the impressions are there. That mind knows what to do, when to do, without taking the advice or the suggestion of conscious mind. It means that subconscious mind is fully occupied with its information and actions. It can work without conscious mind. And it tries to maintain the body for many days without the support of conscious mind. Because sometimes when you have some problem, coma or something, the mind is off, then it takes care of the body. Body functions are normal. Only the conscious mind is not working. So same thing happens here also. This is the method how it happens. Now you see it is how it is serious, our practice. The depth of our practice gives the result. The seriousness of our intention gives the result. If you can accept this, you can understand this, then you will understand the all meaning of sadhana. The same thing is happening here. I told you, when you practice savitarka or any type of samadhi, vitarka samadhi practicing, while you practice these emotions, the need of the body, you think that without this my existence is in trouble, I am going to die. That is why you have to remember death to get energy for practice. Because if I am not practicing this particular sadhana, I am going to die. That is what your fear is. So why you are eating food? Because you have fear, if I am not eating, then I will die. So you are doing everything for that. So the same thing you can use here, same technique. So you think that without this sadhana, my life is impossible. That is my need of life. Then the first emotion is created. And then respect and love, everything is there if you take this emotion into the action. Then you cannot avoid. You will not find ways to escape. Because that is now become essential for you. So if you are escaping means you don't feel it is needed. There is some vacuum. So this seriousness, when you practice, the impressions are made and it goes to subconscious level, and the subconscious mind gives the same suggestion as it gives for sleep after some time. Because the impressions are there, now the mind knows this is essential for this brain, this body, this system. So it produces accordingly in the system. It changes the metabolism of body. It changes the reactions of the mind. The all body is changed. That is why yogi changes his body. Sadhakas change their body, their mind, everything is changed. Accordingly, it gets the muscles and the strength, the heartbeats and brain function, everything is there. This aspect of practice is never connected to our system. Actually, this is what is happening. This is the physiology. There is no research on this aspect of the sadhana. Now, as the sleep is without effort is happening, this samadhi will also happen without effort. Because now the system will produce the situation there. Can give many other examples how it happens. Like if you are daily taking shower, you are used to take shower daily. After waking up, you sit for some time, then you go to take shower. Then you know, if you scan the body, before shower, body changes. Body is asking for shower. You feel it. You feel like taking shower. What do you feel like taking shower is the subconscious mind is giving the suggestion and body elements changes. Body make the heat and the unnecessary heat produced in the body is out and you feel like taking shower. If you are not taking shower on that time, you feel something is missed. This is our experience. You just think about that, the physiology of that. It's the same thing. It is very little, very small thing.
Even addictions work that way.
Yes, correct. It's also addiction. That is we call as addiction when it goes to subconscious level. This is a type of addiction positively, that is all. So this is the feeling. And it is proved that before you go to take shower, there are some changes in the body. Before you go to toilet, there the function starts for toilet. So this knowledge is registered there. The same thing happens with sadhana also. There is nothing else. So if you are daily practicing, this become your part. That is the part of your life. It goes to subconscious mind, and mind makes the body ready for that. And not only I told you, not only make ready, it changes our metabolism of the body. After a long practice, if you are used to take shower with cold water, you can take cold water anywhere. If you are used to take in hot water, so you can only take in hot water. If you change it immediately, it is making problem. So what we say, I am used to it, I am habituated to it, it means this is the system is happening. So now you think about the sadhana, what is it? It's all about practice, nothing else. If you do research on yourself, you will understand the meaning of all these sutras, because this is all connected to our memory. It is not something mysterious thing that you study and understand and then you get some blessings and those things. No. This is not the facts. People think, it is studying Yoga Sutra is a good thing. You have to study, then you get the blessings. That is also there. That is one part. But that is as a blessing. You get the knowledge of sutras in this way. But practically there will be no effect. So now the Savitarka conscious level and then Nirvitarka conscious level, these impressions are there. The first impressions support to make next impressions, and next impressions to next to next. Now we have Nirvichara impressions established, fully established in our mind. Nirvichara, you see, there is nothing, no object. The object is disappeared. So how to do this? You find your own way, how you want to do it. First to understand the theory, and then find your own way, and whatever way you can understand. So this is Savichara and Nirvichara, the physiology of that practice. Now the next sutra comes.
Very small technical point I wanted to ask.
Right, ask.
If Savichara comes after
Nirvitarka.
Nirvitarka. But in Nirvitarka we have already left only with the form. And then again in Savichara we bring back word and idea. Some other form, but bringing that back.
Yes.
So that can
It is a subtle, it happens because we are changing the object there. This, although it is based on that object, now the object form changed. That was gross form, now it is subtle form. That is why I gave the example of water and the element of the water. So it changes, it totally is different. But it has a name and form. Whatever way, that is subtler form. It is only connected to that's much. But it is separate. That is why this is separate samprajnata. Separate samabhati. It is one with that, means like Savitarka and Nirvicharka is interconnected. It is separated because Savichara and Nirvichara is separate in this way. Because he has thought it very well, how to separate, and everything is well thought out. That is why it is separate. Because when we are in Nirvitarka, we get the capacity to concentrate on Savichara, the subtle elements there. That is why, that is the first step make that is the efficiency to go to the next step. So then you are qualified for that. You cannot directly enter into the subtle form. Now all the subtle forms are in the creation. It is related to creation. So he is giving the sutra, which are those subtle forms where you can gradually improve your meditation. 45. Sukshma Vishayatvam Jalinga Paryavasanam. The subtle objects extends all the way up to unmanifest Prakriti. Sukshma Vishayatvam. Subtle objects. Alinga Paryavasanam. It ends in Prakriti. Beyond Prakriti there is no Sukshma Vishayatvam. The Prakriti is the ultimate principle, material cause. We add one more word there, active material cause. Because out of that everything is produced. And when you count the causes one by one, the ultimate cause is Prakriti. Like 5 elements, gross 5 elements are the products, and the subtle 5 elements are the cause. Then the subtle elements are coming from ahankara, the principle of ego-ness, cosmic ego-ness, and then it is coming from cosmic intellect, that is Mahatattva. And Mahatattva is a form of Prakriti, the ultimate material cause, which is in the equilibrium of gunas. That is the characteristics of Prakriti. So you can meditate up to that Prakriti. So when you meditate on Prakriti, you become one with that. Then if you leave the body, you will be like in Samadhi. So that is Bhava Pratyaha Videha Prakriti Layanam. You remember that sutra there. So they are called Prakriti Layan. They did meditation on that, believing that Prakriti is everything. There is no need to know anything else. So in this thought, they were meditating. So then they identified themselves with the Prakriti. And same thing happens when you meditate on something. The mind changes, the body changes, everything changes. And that is the reason why we say we have to follow our family tradition also in some cases. Now the rational thinking, they say there is no need to follow the family tradition. Why? Because family tradition says something, we don't like it, so we don't follow. But if you don't follow, it will affect you with the body and mind, because that there is some connection, some information is fed in you related to the practice of your forefathers. This is also coming there. That is fed in your DNA, because you cannot change your DNA. If you love to do something opposite of the tradition, but DNA cannot change. So DNA will react, because conscious minds want to change, but subconscious mind already is fed there. DNA is working accordingly. So there will be a conflict, and it will cause many diseases, many mental problems, many things. So you cannot be a good. You cannot have a good health if you change the old system of eating and things like that. So now we are having all these problems because of that. So now they are doing some research on that. Then they found out, because we changed our food lifestyle, so we are having all this problem. This is not, the information is not there. We are eating so many things, body does not know what to do with this. So it is going inside, and somehow digestion is happening, the waste is more, and now more body is struggling to maintain that waste. So it is a different story. So everywhere it is related. From here also, when you meditate step by step, if you meditate on Prakriti, you are identified with Prakriti. You are meditating on intellect, you are identified with that. So that effect is the same. You are just giving the Sushma Vishayatvam cha Alinga Paryavasanam. Now here in this sutra, the opponent asks a question. Why you are not including Purusha here? You could say, from Sukshma Vishaya, you could go to up to the level of Purusha. Why you are not including? This is very technical thing. you stopped reaching Prakriti, you are not including consciousness there. Then why, what is the reason? The opponent asked their question, a doubt, to the commentator, the famous commentator Vyasadeva. So he says, you see, you just use the common sense. What the common sense says, we are talking about Sukshma Vishaya. Sukshma means subtle, subtler, subtlest. It goes like that. And what is Sukshma? Sukshma is the cause also. Gross is the product and the subtle object is the cause. So the subtle and gross has one more relation, that is cause and effect relation. The subtle elements are the cause and the gross elements are the product. You know that. Clay is the cause and pot is the product. The clay and pot is gross form and clay is subtler form. So there is a cause and effect relation. And now our meditation patterns moves with this relation. Why? You see, the reason is this all process is happening in your brain. Your mind is forming all these things. And mind is again the product of Prakriti. And mind cannot meditate on consciousness. Because consciousness is more subtler than mind. It cannot do. I gave the idea that the gross thing cannot perceive the subtle thing. This is one of the principia of Sankhya and Yoga. It cannot. So that is why mind cannot concentrate on consciousness, because consciousness not the cause of anything. This all process is based on cause and effect relation, gross and subtle relation. It ends in Prakriti. And where it is happening in the brain, what we say mind, the physical form of mind. The developments are happening there, and the reactions, actions are happening there. So if you physiologically you think, you cannot connect consciousness here. That is what the new science also say. They are unable to understand consciousness because in their theory, consciousness cannot be connected here. Here, this is also is going just like the physics goes. That is why Patanjali is not adding the meditation of the samapatti of consciousness. It is not possible. But one place you remember, tada pratyak chetana adhigamo andaraya bhavascha. There he mentioned. And in third chapter also again it will come. Purusha jnanam will come. That is when you use the intellect and the discriminative knowledge is there, then you feel the existence of Purusha, not in meditation. This is many argued with me in this point. We had a long discussion on this. According to Patanjali, after Chittavritti Nirodha, you are there, but you have no feeling. When the Chittavrittis are not there, you are in consciousness only. There is no doubt. But you have no knowledge of consciousness in Samadhi. No. Only when you have the discriminative knowledge after practicing Samadhi with the qualified mind, when you discriminate exactly, correctly, minutely, the elements, the the functions of elements and consciousness, then you have the experience of Purusha. In meditation, it is not possible. Meditation, you are stopping the thought. When the thoughts are stopped, the reflection is not there. When the reflection is not there, you cannot experience the consciousness. What I said, you understood? Huh? Once more I repeat. In meditation means here we are taking the samadhi, or we can say that asamprajnata. There the thoughts are not there. Okay? If thoughts are not there, then intellect is not working. That is what we have to say. Intellect is also in rest, or it is not reflecting. When intellect is not reflecting, you cannot realize the consciousness with a knowledge, with thoughts. Because to know consciousness, you need to have thoughts. Without that, it is not possible. So he is taking the correct path. This is the material side of meditation. This all process, the meditation process is completely material. It is nothing to do with the consciousness. Consciousness is reflecting there, it is reflecting. But we are changing ourselves with this process of our mind. We are not changing our consciousness. We cannot change our consciousness. It is unchangeable. So when mind is working, there it is reflected. When sense organs are working, there is also reflected. Everywhere it is reflected. But in samadhi or in this samapatti or in savitarka or nirvitarka, savichara, nirvichara, nowhere you can have the reflection of consciousness. Even in asmita and ananda samadhi. No. Because again the thought is there. Only when you have discriminative knowledge, the correct knowledge of the experience with this samadhi, then you know. Without that, it is not known. So when you practice samadhi for a long time, your mind is qualified to make the ultimate, ultra cognitive, discriminative knowledge. This is what it is said. Huh?
And that is Kaivalya.
That is Kaivalya. That is called Kaivalya. That is Dharma Megha Samadhi. So then you have the reflection of, because thought is there, the thought is reflecting the consciousness, then it is there. Otherwise it is not there. So that is why he is not including Sushma Vishayam, Chalinga Parivasana. Only up to Prakriti it is there. Yes.
Is consciousness not reflected at all, or is reflected and the intellect is not present, is why we don't realize it?
I said consciousness is always reflected.
But the intellect is off, is why we don't realize it during samadhi.
No, you see, consciousness is there in body, consciousness there in senses, consciousness there in mind, step by step. Consciousness there in ego, consciousness there in intellect, consciousness there in all body, everywhere. Whatever element you are trying to say. It is there. Okay. Now your question is why it is not reflected.
Is it reflected, not realized, or not reflected at all?
It is reflected.
But not realized.
It is reflected. You cannot stop the reflection. Reflection is all pervading. You cannot stop. But to realize that, to see the consciousness, the feeling of the consciousness, you need a thought. Without thought, consciousness is not experienced. Now we are stopping the thought. So we are controlling the thought. We are just concentrating on the material side of the mind. And that is what is happening. Mind is changing itself. And then ultimately you have the sattvika, the real mind, which can catch consciousness directly. Or which can reflect the correct characteristics of consciousness. Till then you cannot. Because the consciousness reflected in the body, you think the body has a conscious. Is it wrong? So this way it is stopped there. That is why he is not taking the consciousness. He is not including this. That is the reason he has given in Vyasa Bhashya. So, little more time we took. So we stop here. Om Purnamataha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purname